Hey, it's Adam Lovell from KnuckleTFUp.com. That is KnuckleTFUp.com. I'm here to talk about Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship number 80. At this point, it is September 13th, so this happened on September 12th, Friday, from Hollywood, Florida. We're going to jump right into it because I lollygagged around in the last couple of videos, and I ain't going to do it again. Maybe one day, but not today. This show kicked off with Rudy Lavos taking on Justin Williams. Lavos pretty much dominated this fight. But when I say dominant, I don't mean like he destroyed him. Don't get me wrong. Williams is a good, solid fighter, and he got in some offensive shots, especially body shots in like the second and third rounds. But ultimately, Lavos just took control and kept control. He kept advancing. Again, Williams fought back. I think maybe Williams was trying to counterfight and he should have been a little more aggressive. That's just my opinion from what I saw, what I can remember, and based on some of the notes I took here. But no, this is pretty much Lavos' fight. He wins it by unanimous decision. Decent fight to kick off this show, in my opinion. Forgot to slide my mouse over here so I can move my notes, so pardon me. But no, it was a nice little fight. Both guys fought well. Lavos fought a good bit better. He just had more offense. He had more moving forwardness, if you will. He was the aggressor. He took the fight in a unanimous decision. I want to see Williams again. Hopefully he can pick up a win. And next we had match number 2, fight number 2. It was Chino Bloom taking on Dylan Bladen. Dylan, my friend, I know we're friends on here. I don't think I am with Chino. I'm not sure I'm making a lot of friend requests with fighters. Man, I don't know what's going on, Dylan, but this wasn't your fight once again. Bloom hammered Bladen down to the canvas twice early in the first round, and that was it. The second time that Bladen went down, he did not get back up. His corner actually asked the ref to stop the fight, and they did. So easily winning this fight in the first round was Chino Bloom. And again, Dylan, I respect the hell out of you. I respect anybody who gets in a bare-knuckle boxing match, a bare-knuckle fighting match, whatever you want to call it. If you're in there fighting another professional bare-knuckle fighter, I respect the hell out of you. So when I say somebody did bad or somebody got their ass whipped, I don't want anybody being upset or thinking I'm being disrespectful. I'm just telling the truth. And Dylan Bladen, he got beat pretty bad here. Chino Bloom, fairly easy victory in the first round. In the final match of the prelims, this has many more matches, many more fights to go, but the final fight, and again, coming from the wrestling world, forgive me if I say match too often, it is a match up, right? It's a match up. From Hollywood, Florida, from yesterday, September 12th, the final match of the prelims was Giancarlos Rivera taking on Zay Garcia. Both men came out swinging, but it was a little bit more under control after the first few shots. Like, it didn't slow down a whole lot, but they came out like pretty, not in a flurry, but pretty much aggressively, both guys. But after that, slowed down. The pace slowed down a little. Not boringly. This was a good, solid fight, but good, solid fight for as long as it lasted. 22 damn seconds. Rivera knocked Garcia out cold. Out cold. And Garcia remained standing, slumped against the ropes. It was something to see. Yeah, it was a standing knockout. They happen here or there. There's another one later on this card. Unbelievable. But no, this match, I said it was a good fight. It's based on my enjoyment of it. I mean, sometimes I like seeing guys get knocked the hell out. I mean, no offense to the guy who gets knocked out here, but damn, Rivera knocked Garcia out cold, leaning up against the ropes. Rivera turned and walked away as Garcia just slid down, and it was over. 22 seconds. Shit. I mean, enjoying, but shit. Next up, we had the main card started off, and I really liked and appreciated how they honored Charlie Kirk here. They honored the victims of 9/11 as well, as we're just a little past the anniversary of the Twin Towers collapsing. And they also honored Charlie Kirk. If you don't like Charlie Kirk, then you wouldn't like me. I'm just being honest with you. We weren't exactly alike, but I have a lot in common with good old Charlie. And it was nice to hear Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship honor the man. He deserved it, even if you don't agree with him. He was an influencer extravaganza, just made the world a better place and changed lives. And so it was nice to hear that. So we are on the main card, and we were on the first fight of the main card, and it was Wanya Reed taking on Paulo Games. Games, I believe is how you say it. It's spelled like games, but it's pronounced Games. And the first, Games accidentally hit Reed with a hammer fist in the back of the head. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was accidental. He didn't purposely seek him out, and I'm going to, do something illegal and break him down. But he wanted to touch hands after that happened, and instead, Reed came out like he was going to, and then hit him. I mean, totally legal. Nothing wrong with it, but wow. This infuriated Gamus, and it just started a brawl. And that actually is not what Reed really needed to happen. Reed is a boxer, and Gamus, coming from the MMA world, is more of a brawler when it comes to striking. And so he got his way after this. Even though he was the one that got tagged after the hit in the back of the head, it pretty much started to go his way after that. Both men came into round 2 angry, but at the same time, you could tell their demeanor's angry, but they both refuse to give in to the other's style. Gamus wants Reed to come in, and he's telling him, come on in here. Reed knows better. Reed knows he has to stay on the outside and work a boxing match, right? He really needs to work from a distance, counterfight, work from a distance. So neither one was giving into that. Gamus wants to brawl, but Reed, as a boxer, won't do it. Wasn't a bad round, but it was calmer than I suspected it would be. Gamus is working with his hands down completely. Gamus is serious. He's got, like I do, his hands are completely down. And Reed still wouldn't come in. Probably a smart thing. But man, Gamus was doing everything, including completely dropping his hands. Gamus lost a point in round 3 for sweeping. They showed the replay. I couldn't really tell. You got to trust the ref, right? The ref saw it. He tripped. He saw him as tripping him. He saw it as taking Reed down to the mat. Reed laid there for a while, rubbing his ribs and sort of like nursing it a little bit, in my opinion. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. I'm not saying he needed to do that. I don't know. But he stayed down for quite some time. He gets back up, and it's not long after that, even though Gamus lost a point here for sweeping, he knocked Reed down 2 times after that. It's like the dude knew, man, I lost a point. I got to make up for this, so I'll earn a couple points. And he did, knocking Reed down 2 times after that. Both fighters went to their stools after this, end of the second round, but Reed his corner signals that he's done. He can't continue. He can't come up with the third round. Winner by technical knockout, Paulo Gamus. Pretty interesting fight. I mean, you had your brawler, your MMA guy, and your boxer. The MMA guy won out. Some people are probably going to blame that sweep, that maybe Reed hurt his ribs or his hip or something. This wasn't said on commentary, so I'm not claiming that. But I could see some people saying that, especially fans of Reed. I liked both guys from what I saw here, but Gamus is a brute, man. If you get inside with him, if you listen to his taunts and come on in, or you think you're an inside fighter too, I think he's going to wreck some people with his inside, with his strong punches, with his strong strikes. I really do. Next up in Hollywood on September 12th, 2025, fight number 5. Austin Lewis took on Chris Garcia. Austin Lewis had a pretty good showing the last time he was out. Both men came out here fairly aggressively, but Lewis allowed Garcia to keep coming forward. I mean, Lewis is a good fighter. He won the last time he was out. And I'm not saying this fight makes him a bad fighter, but he allowed himself to be backed up the whole time this fight was going on. He really did. And that allowed him to get pegged pretty hard here. Now, I didn't think it was as hard as it looked, but Lewis got pegged by Garcia pretty hard, fell down, was the knockdown, but jumped up immediately. And a lot of guys make this mistake, too many guys. And who am I? I'm not a coach, so I'm just telling you. I'm sure it's an excitement, it's in a desire to complete the fight, to keep going. But he jumped up so quickly, he wasn't ready. Sometimes if you're rocked a little bit but not out, you got to stay down until 8 or 9 and then get up. But no, that wasn't to be here. Austin Lewis jumped to his feet and literally more than stumbling. The dude almost fell down again. He didn't, but he almost fell down again. The ref's looking at that and was like, no, this has got to be stopped now. If you're on your feet wobbling around like a drunkard, this isn't going to work out. And the fight was stopped. Chris Garcia wins by technical knockout. Pretty much because Austin Lewis didn't take the 8 count on one knee or something. He got back up, and that was a horrible mistake. Fight over. Next up, number 6 was Bobby Henry taking on Stas Kukendale. Forgive me if I said that wrong. Henry was super aggressive, and Stash was surprised and got knocked down. He got knocked down once. I really think it took him by surprise. I mean, Stash, he has an interesting haircut too. I'm going to call him Stash because his last name's tough to say, Kukendell or something like that, Kukendell. He's got like dyed blonde hair with red streaks going through it that sort of looks like veins. It almost looks like his brain is exposed or something. I don't know if that's the look he's going for or what, but that's the best way to describe it. And I really believe the odds makers thought that this was Stash's fight to win, because the last fight Bobby Henry had, he didn't look so hot. He just didn't look like what people expected him to look like. I'm not saying he looked bad. He just didn't live up to expectations. But here, he exceeded expectations because he knocked Stash out. I mean, it was a technical 1-2 to the jaw. Boom, boom. Like lifted his head up and then hammered him in the mouth. You can see in the pictures that scroll by here. Solid knockout in the second round by Bobby Henry over Stash Kukendell, who, I think he was brought in, expected to be a big deal. And I'm not saying he can't recover from this, and maybe he'll become a giant deal. Maybe this will inspire him to get incredible. I don't know. I hope so, because I believe Bobby Henry was inspired to get incredible after his last fight, and he looked incredible here with a big upset win. This was a very interesting fight. It only went 2 rounds, so I can't say it was fight of the night or something, but it was very good, very entertaining, and very interesting. The next fight on this show was Jeremy Smith taking on David Simpson. Another short one, folks. This David Simpson, he is a beast. He is a monster. He pounds Smith into the ropes as soon as the fight pretty much starts and gets the second standing knockout of the night. The ref had to step in and call it. He was just unmercifully pounding fists down onto Jeremy Smith's head and face and jaw, and the ref was like, no, I can't let this continue. Smith was bleeding at the mouth, he was bleeding at the nose, he was bleeding on one of his cheeks, and this was just very, very quickly into this fight. David Simpson has figured something out, brother. He is a monster. I don't know what other adjective I can use, but we've got to keep an eye on this guy. I think he's going places, and they're light heavyweights, so is he going to lead to a title shot pretty soon? If he keeps fighting like this, he damn well better get a title shot. David Simpson is the man. He's somebody to watch. After this, we had a hype thing in the middle of the ring, hyping the October 4th main event for the King of Violence Championship. Mike Perry defending against Jeremy Stevens. They did a hell of a job selling this fight. That's their job. That's what they did. Do they really hate each other? The owner, David Feldman, says they absolutely do. And they did a good job making us believe that. That's the point of hyping a fight. I'm all for respect and shaking hands and hugging it out. I really am. But when you got a fight coming up and you want to sell tickets, it does a better job when you make the crowd, when you make the fans believe there's some legitimate animosity. You make them believe that you want to take each other out. And Perry is great at that. Stevens is great at that. And these two together are fireworks. Now they got to get in the ring on October 4th in New Jersey and show us the same fireworks in the fight. And they're both totally capable of that. I'm certainly not saying they're not. But that this promo, if you will, was excellent and absolutely had to drive ticket sales for sure. I'm sure they weren't down to begin with, but they did a great job here. And then we got back to the fighting again. The number 8 fight on this show was the debut in bare knuckle boxing of Yoel Romero. You talk about a beast, you talk about a monster, right? I don't care how old this guy is, and we all know he's up there. We all know he's in his 40s, but man, he looks like $1 million, and he's fighting Theo Dokis. I don't know who this guy is, and I'm not going to... Anybody willing to sign on the line with Yoel Romero, props, my friend. Props, my brother. I mean, thank you. I imagine there were a lot of people that didn't want to take this fight, right? And you don't want to put Romero against a top fighter in his first bout. I mean, he's never fought bare knuckle. Of course, we all knew he'd figure it out, and he does here. First round here, it was a little bit slow, but Romero in his camp admitted beforehand that he was going to take it slow in the first round. He wanted to get a feel for bare knuckle. He wanted to get a feel for what Daukaus was going to do, and he did that. There was argument Daukaus might have won the first round because Romero was just taking it easy. He was just measuring, trying to figure it out, right? Not just his opponent, but how bare knuckle really worked and what he wanted to do. And by God, did he figure it out. He came out in the second round and just took Daukaus down and out, knocking him down several times. I believe it was 3 times. And on that third knockdown, Daukaus did not get up. Winner by knockout in the second round. Once he got a little bit of a feel for it, Yoel Romero. I mean, none of us expected him to lose here. I mean, if he would have lost, it would have been one of the biggest. It would have been like Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas kind of thing, right? Those of you old enough to remember that. I remember that clearly. That was wild. It would have been that big of an upset. It really would have. So odds of it happening can happen, as you saw with Douglas and Tyson, but it didn't happen. I pity the person who takes on Romero next. I think he's going to wreck guys, and we'll see. But Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is an amazing league, so hey, they got guys there that could probably, no, they could beat Romero. Of course, anybody's capable of winning, and bare knuckle at any time. That's one of the best things about it. But they're going to have to work for it to beat Romero, and he showed us that tonight. Next up on this card was Edgar Palazzola taking on Gary Fox. Gary Fox, I believe, is the featherweight champion over there in the UK, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship featherweight. His title was not on the line. He didn't even wear it, right? Left it over there in the UK or in his suitcase or what have you, and that's fine. It wasn't on the line. Palazzola is undefeated. I forget how many fights he's won, 5 or 6. I mean, he's on a roll here. And this fight was pretty good. I'm struggling. It was sort of lopsided, but good. Okay, let me explain. Let me try to explain that. Edgar controlled the fight, right? He controlled the fight. First round, maybe even. Second round, maybe even. You know, Fox did a good job. You know, Fox has a hell of a jaw, a hell of a lot of spirit, and he refused to drop in this fight because the third, fourth, and fifth rounds were completely dominated by Edgar. I mean, Fox got his shots in, especially body shots. He worked the body a good bit and fairly effectively, but not enough. He could not keep up with Edgar. Most people can't. He's probably going to get a title shot next, the American version of the featherweight title, and then I could see if he wins that, challenging Fox for both belts. This is just me speculating, who knows, but it's obvious the way I'm talking here that Edgar wins this by unanimous decision. The fifth round, he pounded Fox. I mean, shots to the face. Fox is bruised and bloody and contusions, and it was rough looking, man. I've seen worse, but it was rough looking, but he kept going. He not only didn't drop, he kept swinging. He kept fighting. Hell of a lot of heart from this Fox guy, and it shows you why he's the UK champion. He's going to go over there, fight like that, and take care of business, most likely. But here, he just met more than his match. Edgar Palazzola is on a roll, continue to stay on a roll here, and he's probably headed for a championship fight for sure. But this was maybe fight of the night. It was a unanimous decision, so it's tough to call it that. But just the way Fox fought with heart, it was a must-see bout, a must-see match, a must-see fight, for sure. And next up, fight number 10 was the main event. Now, I've been kind of waiting on this because I watched Leonardo Perdomo taking on AJ Adams 2 months ago. And it was a disappointment. Adams went down, but I don't know. There was something odd about it. It didn't feel right. I wasn't sure Adams was really out of it. I haven't watched it back, so I don't remember what it was. But there was something about the fight that didn't sit right with me. I didn't think anybody was cheated, or it wasn't that bad, but I was like, I want to see this again. I mean, it was kind of lopsided, and I didn't feel like it should have been lopsided. You know what I mean? Those of you who saw it, you have to know what I mean. I should have watched it back before I made this video, but it's 1:30 in the morning. I wanted to make this video. I wanted to get it out, so forgive me. But this match just proved that there was nothing fishy, nothing odd, nothing bad about the first fight except for AJ Adams' ability to go toe-to-toe with Perdomo, because he couldn't. He gets knocked down and out in the first round. He got knocked down once, got up. Seconds later, was knocked down again. The second knockdown didn't look like he was hit that hard. Now, I'm sure he was. AJ Adams ain't going to go down with a tap, right? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying as a viewer, it didn't look like it was very hard. I'm sure it was. But he goes down, and he's pounding the mat. And even on commentary, Lytle was like, I think he's just angry. I think he's just mad that he went down again. He's like, no, he was pounding the mat in frustration. He knew he wasn't going to get up. He didn't get up. And in total domination, once again, Leonardo Perdomo just walks through AJ Adams. I mean, great respect to AJ Adams, multiple time heavyweight champion and bare knuckle fighting championship. Wasn't to be here. What is next for Perdomo? Probably Big Ben Rothwell for the title, because I don't know who's stopping Perdomo. His shots, he's so damn strong. Like I said, the knockout shot didn't look like it hit very hard. But even like a strike that doesn't look like it's very hard must be killer from this Perdomo guy. It must be. It sure looked that way. And your winner of the main event, very likely heading to a heavyweight championship title shot, Leonardo Perdomo. Now, that all said, I just went through those fights pretty damn quickly. We're only at the 20-minute mark, guys. But this was an excellent show from top to bottom. A lot of quick knockouts, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, brother. I love guys when they dominate. I don't want to see a card full of it, of course. But it was. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. Can we just get to it, Adam? Give us your score. 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this. Was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I feel like it flew by. I feel like this review flew by. But I'm Adam Lavelle of KnuckleTFUp.com. Please subscribe to this YouTube. Really want to get in the algorithm so we can get the word out about bare knuckle even more than it already is. There's not a whole lot of coverage of it on YouTube. There isn't. It's only a handful of us doing it. So let's get it in the algorithm. Subscribe, like, share. I'm begging you. Not for me, but for the companies and for the fighters, because they deserve it. And I'll be back to talk more about amazing fighting before you know it.